For thousands of years, Troy was thought to be a myth, a fantastical story told by Homer, until it wasn't, when Heinrich Schliemann found remains of the city of Troy a bit more than 100 years ago in Turkey. And that begs the question of this video. What other myths are out there when it comes to lost lands and civilizations that might one day prove to be a bit more than myth? I got no doubt you've heard of Atlantis, and it might be your curiosity led you to stumble across the lost continent of Mu. But have you heard about Agartha, Buyan, or the Iram of Pillars? Stay tuned, because those lost lands are just the tip of the proverbial iceberg, an iceberg that includes King Arthur's Avalon. We know for a fact that there are lost civilizations because the lands they occupied are now underwater. Malta was once part of a large island. Doggerland was once connected Great Britain to Europe. Beringia, which connected Asia and North America. Maui was once a huge island in Hawaii, and there are others. So it might be that one day, like Troy, Atlantis will rise again. But from where? Who knows? In the meantime, let's talk about Agartha, a legendary kingdom said to exist inside the earth. And yeah, while you might not believe in the hollow earth theory, there are those who do, and the belief in Agartha existing under our feet dates back to the Victorian era, a time of a heightened belief in the occult, along with the general belief in hidden history. It's accepted that the belief in Agartha is founded in Victorian attempts to interpret certain myths as lost historical facts. In this case, Agartha stems from ancient Hindu texts that talk about Shambhala, the hidden world inside our earth. Now these inhabitants of Agartha have light brown skin, almond-shaped eyes, and both dark or blonde hair, and there's supposed to be millions of them, all ruled by someone known as a master. And yeah, I don't think it's the same guy that is Doctor Who's arch-enemy, though I could be wrong. Now, turning our attention to those mythical civilizations that slipped under the waves of our oceans, and I know you've heard of Atlantis, but have you heard of Leoness or Sunderland? Well, you're about to. Leoness is a mythical kingdom described in the English Arthurian legends, as in the legends of King Arthur, a kingdom that was swallowed up by the Atlantic Ocean in a single night without leaving a single survivor to tell what happened. And so you know, some 7,000 to 10,000 years back, there was a land bridge between England and Europe that we know was populated by humans, and we call it Doggerland. And as to why the name, I don't have a clue, but if you do know, leave me a comment. Of course, when it comes to submerged civilizations, we need to talk about Sunderland, a huge landmass in Southeast Asia that some believe was a cradle of civilization for the Hindu civilizations, and even those who built Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. This area is believed to have been above water until the last ice age melted, and that was some 11,000 years ago. Of course, along with Sunderland and Doggerland, lands that we know actually existed and were inhabited, we have a couple, that we've relegated to myth, along with Atlantis. Mu was a land, a large continent in the Pacific Ocean, populated by an advanced civilization, like Atlantis. This landmass disappeared beneath the waves in a volcanic catastrophe. Then there is also Lemuria, another continent in the Indian Ocean that suffered the same damn fate. And yeah, Atlantis, Mu, and Lemuria are all basically the same myth. The origins of each are a bit different, as is their associated myth, but they are basically the same. And I just have to kind of think that there's some lost history that we have distant memories of that we label as myth, just as we did the city of Troy for a couple of thousand years. So the truth is, when it comes to lost lands, we have entire civilizations that have gone missing, as well as entire land masses that have slipped underneath the waves. Good Lord, even the entire Mediterranean basin was once dry, and the Sahara Desert itself was a thriving, populated landscape a long time ago. And mixed in with that reality, we have myths and legends, and who knows how much reality there just might be mixed in with all that myth, fantasy, and legend. I gotta tell you, I love doing these kind of videos. They're fun to do. And you know, you talk about lost lands, lost civilizations, history. To me, history is our future, if that makes any sense. What I'm trying to say is when we look on our past, when we look in on our past, we can kind of tell what our future holds. Because one, history is repetitive, but okay, I'm kind of getting off track here and I'm kind of losing myself in what I'm trying to say. So I'll just leave that alone and just say that, you know what? There's a lot of strange shit in our history, and I'm sure there's a lot of strange shit in our future, and I'm sure there's a lot of strange shit going on right now that 500 years or 1,000 years from now, people are going to look back on and go, what the fuck was that? You know? Could be 1,000 years from now, the entire continent of America is underwater. Who knows? Weird shit happens. An asteroid could hit. I don't know. Neither do you. Maybe we should watch that video on prophecy that I just did. Anyway, like I said, history is fun, even when we're not sure what that history is or what that history means. Enjoy, friends. Out of here.